The mountain fortress of New Busan stood as humanity's final refuge against the alien invaders. For 30 years, the settlement had endured while the rest of Earth fell under hegemony control. Built into the natural caves of what was once South Korea's eastern coast, the fortress had withstood countless assaults. Commander Jun-hee Park knew this attack would be different. The hegemony had brought their world killer ships, massive vessels designed to crack planetary crusts. They wouldn't use their full power, of course. The aliens wanted Earth habitable, just without its human inhabitants. "Third defense line has fallen," reported Lieutenant Ta-1, his voice steady despite the grim news. "Enemy ground forces are inside the lower tunnels." Jun-hee nodded, studying the holographic display that showed the remaining forces. Once, New Busan had housed 50,000 survivors. Now barely 2,000 remained, half of them military personnel. The rest had evacuated through the underwater tunnels 3 days ago, heading for hidden shelters that might keep them safe for a while longer. "How long until they reach the command center?" she asked. 20 minutes, maybe less." She touched the small medallion at her throat, a memento from her father, who had been among the first to fight when the hegemony arrived 3 decades ago. He had fallen in the Battle of Seoul, like so many others. "Prepare Protocol Lazarus," she ordered. Tai-1's eyes widened. "Commander, are you certain?" "Once activated." "I know what it means." Jun-hee cut him off. "I've carried this burden for 15 years. The time has come." Protocol Lazarus had been Earth's final desperate plan. Before the war turned against humanity, military scientists had created 300 super soldiers, men and women enhanced through genetic manipulation, cybernetic implants, and combat conditioning. When defeat seemed inevitable, these soldiers were placed in cryogenic sleep beneath Antarctica, waiting for the signal that would wake them. That signal would only come when the last official human resistance fell. Jun-hee entered her authorization codes while the bunker shook from nearby explosions. Dust fell from the ceiling as support beams groaned. "Defense teams report multiple breaches," another officer called out. "They're using some kind of new tunneling technology." On the monitors, Jun-hee watched alien soldiers pour into the lower levels. The hegemony forces consisted of 4 different species who had formed an alliance centuries ago. The tallest among them, the Daiku, directed the others with silent gesture commands. Their gray skin reflected the emergency lights as they moved with terrible efficiency through the human defenses. "Protocol authorization accepted," said the computer. "Final commander verification required." Jun-hee placed her palm on the scanner. Voice confirmation. "Park, Jun-hee, Commander of Earth Defense Forces. The last stand has failed. Activate Lazarus." The screen flashed green. Somewhere thousands of miles away, ancient machinery hummed to life beneath the Antarctic ice. "It's done," she said quietly. "Lieutenant, destroy all records of the protocol. Then implement the self-destruct sequence for this facility." Ta-1 hesitated. "Commander, we could still try to escape. The underwater tunnels would lead them straight to the civilian evacuees," she finished for him. "No, our part is done. The torch passes to others now." She opened a small compartment in her uniform and removed a slim capsule. The other officers did the same. They had all sworn an oath never to be taken alive, never to reveal secrets under torture. Explosions rocked the command center. The blast doors, designed to withstand conventional weapons, began to glow red as alien cutting tools melted through. "It has been my honor to serve with you all," Jun-hee said, looking at each of the 6 officers who remained with her. "Earth will rise again." They took their poison as the doors fell. When the hegemony forces entered, they found only dead humans. The Daiku commander signaled to his intelligence officer, who began downloading data from the partially destroyed computer systems. "The human resistance is finished," the commander transmitted to the fleet above. "Begin settlement procedures." None of them noticed the small green light on a hidden terminal that confirmed a signal had been sent to Antarctica. None of them knew about the sleeping soldiers who had just received their wake-up call. Deep beneath the southern ice cap, 300 cryogenic pods began their revival sequences. The temperature in the chambers slowly rose as life support systems activated after decades of dormancy. Colonel Sung Min Kim would be the first to open his eyes, the first to learn that he now represented humanity's last hope. The final human resistance had fallen, but Earth's frozen guardians were about to awaken. Cold. That was Colonel Sung Min Kim's first thought as his consciousness slowly returned. Cold, then pain, then confusion as his enhanced body fought against 30 years of frozen sleep. His muscles seized as the cryogenic fluid drained from his chamber. His augmented heart beat irregularly before finding its rhythm. "Vital signs stabilizing," announced a mechanical voice. "Welcome back, Colonel Kim. I am Sen Tianiel, the facility's artificial intelligence." Sung Min tried to speak, but only managed a hoarse cough. His throat felt raw, his limbs heavy. The pod's restraints retracted, and he slumped forward. His enhanced muscles, designed to resist atrophy, still trembled under his weight. "Water," he finally managed. A small drone approached, extending a tube with clear liquid. Sung Min drank deeply, feeling his genetically modified cells respond to the hydration. His vision, blurry at first, sharpened to its augmented clarity, allowing him to see details in the dimly lit chamber that normal humans would miss. "Status report," he ordered, his voice stronger now. "Protocol Lazarus was initiated 26 hours ago by Commander Junhee Park. New Busan has fallen. You are the first of the frozen sentinels to be revived." Sung Min closed his eyes, absorbing the news. New Busan gone. The last human stronghold destroyed. He had known this day might come when he volunteered for the super soldier program, but the reality still hit him hard. How long have we been asleep? 32 years, 4 months, 16 days. He looked around the vast underground chamber. Hundreds of other cryopods lined the walls, their occupants still in frozen sleep. Each contained a soldier like him, enhanced, modified, trained to be humanity's last defense. "Begin revival process for all units," he ordered. "Priority to command staff." Sen Tianiel's lights pulsed in acknowledgement. "Revival sequence initiated for Major Ji-Woo Lee, Tactical Command. Medical drones are standing by." Sung Min stood shakily and stepped from his pod. His naked body showed the marks of his enhancements, the surgical scars where bone reinforcements had been implanted, the faint lines where extra muscle fiber had been grafted. He had been 35 when he entered cryosleep. Biologically, he was still 35, but the world had aged without him. A drone delivered a simple black uniform. As Sung Min dressed, he heard the hiss of another cryopod opening. Major Ji-Woo Lee gasped awake, her revival faster than his own. Her enhancements had been focused on neural processing and tactical systems rather than physical strength. "Colonel," she acknowledged as soon as she could speak. Her eyes, with their distinctive silver-blue rings, a side effect of her optical enhancements, quickly assessed the situation. So it finally happened. Yes, Earth has fallen. More pods began opening. Captain Hyun-ki, their reconnaissance specialist with skin modified to change color for camouflage. Lieutenant Min Seo, whose enhanced reflexes made her movements blur even to their augmented vision. Dr. Young Mai, not a soldier but a scientist whose neural implants allowed her to process information at extraordinary speeds. One by one, Earth's last defenders awakened to a world that had been conquered in their absence. Centennial projected a holographic display showing the current state of the planet. Red areas indicated heavy hegemony presence. Blue showed minimal occupation. Most of Earth glowed red. They've established full control of major population centers, Ji-Woo noted, analyzing the data. Mining operations in resource-rich areas, processing facilities near former human industrial zones, and the human population. Sung Min asked. Saintiel's voice was emotionless. Approximately 18% of pre-invasion human population remains. Most are used as labor. Some are kept as research subjects. Sung Min felt rage building inside him, a side effect of his augmentations. The emotional regulation implant at the base of his skull activated automatically, releasing chemicals to balance his response. The other soldiers would be experiencing similar adjustments as their systems came fully online. "We were made for this moment," he reminded them. "While humanity slept, we waited. While they fought, we prepared. Now they've fallen, and we rise." By the time all 300 super soldiers had awakened, 60 hours had passed. They gathered in the facility's central chamber, a force unlike any that had ever existed on Earth. Enhanced strength, speed, intelligence, each one worth 100 normal soldiers. "The hegemony believes they've won," some men told his assembled forces. "They think humanity is defeated, broken. They don't know about us." He activated the command console, bringing up maps of hegemony positions. "We are few, but we were made for this fight. We'll strike from the shadows, take back what's ours piece by piece. Today, Earth's real defense begins." Around him, 300 super soldiers stood ready, humanity's last hope, finally awake. The abandoned subway tunnels beneath Old Seoul provided perfect cover for the super soldiers. Captain Hyun-ki led his team through the dark passages, his skin adapting to match the surrounding shadows. Behind him moved 4 other enhanced soldiers, each carrying weapons salvaged from hidden military caches. "Motion sensors detect 20 hegemony guards above us," Hyun-ki reported through the neural link that connected all 5 soldiers. "Mostly Ravi units, with 2 Doku commanders." Major Jiwoo's voice responded in their minds. "Proceed as planned. This outpost controls water distribution for the region. Taking it will help the human survivors in Sector 7. The team moved silently through the tunnels. Their enhanced bodies required little light to navigate the darkness. 3 weeks had passed since their awakening, and they had already established a hidden network of bases in forgotten bunkers and underground facilities. Hyun-ki reached the access point first. The rusted maintenance door would lead them into the basement of what had once been Seoul's central bank, now converted into a hegemony control center. He placed a small device against the lock, and it clicked open without sound. "Breach in 10 seconds, he signaled. "Formation Delta." The team moved with perfect coordination as they entered the building. Their enhanced speed made them blurs to normal vision. The first 2 alien guards died before they could raise an alarm, their necks broken by precise strikes. In the control room, a Daeku commander looked up too late as Sergeant Du-yun burst through the door. The sergeant's reinforced fist crushed the alien's breathing apparatus. The second Daeku reached for its weapon, but Lieutenant Min-ha was faster, driving a knife through its central nerve cluster. "Control room secured," Hyun-ki reported, downloading their communication protocols now. While his team secured the building, Hyun-ki connected to the alien computer systems. His neural implants translated the hegemony data streams, extracting valuable intelligence. What he found made his enhanced heart beat faster. "Major, I've located a human holding facility 10 kilometers east of here. Approximately 300 prisoners. Security looks minimal." At their hidden command center, Colonel Sung-min and Major Jiwoo studied the transmitted data. The holding facility appeared to be a temporary processing center where captured humans were sorted before being shipped to labor camps. "This is our chance to build the resistance," Sung-min decided. "Prepare a rescue operation. All available teams." The raid took place at night, when the hegemony security rotated shifts. 6 super soldiers infiltrated the facility, while others created diversions at nearby outposts. They moved like ghosts through the alien defenses, their enhanced bodies performing far beyond human limits. Inside the holding facility, they found humans packed into cells. Men, women, and children with hollow eyes and thin frames. When the door to the first cell opened, the prisoners cowered, expecting punishment. "We're human," Lieutenant Min-ha said softly, removing her mask to show her face. "We've come to free you." Among the rescued prisoners was Dr. Young-soo, a physicist who had worked on early resistance technology. His eyes widened when he saw the super soldiers in action. "You're them," he whispered to Hyun-ki as they evacuated through the underground tunnels. "The Sentinels. They told us you were just a myth, a story the military made up to give people hope." "Sometimes myths come true," Hyun-ki replied. Within days, stories spread through the remaining human populations. Tales of ghost-like rescuers who struck without warning and disappeared without trace. The hegemony increased security at their outposts, but the attacks continued. In their primary base beneath the mountains, Colonel Sung-min met with the growing resistance leadership. Over 50 freed prisoners had joined their cause, trained by the super soldiers in combat and sabotage. "The aliens are confused," Major Ji-woo reported, displaying intercepted communications. "They thought they'd eliminated all military resistance. They can't explain where we're coming from." "That uncertainty is our advantage," Sung-min said. "We'll keep them guessing, keep them afraid." A month later, the hegemony governor of the Asian sector sent a message to his superiors. The transmission was intercepted by the resistance. "Unknown human forces continue to disrupt operations. They possess technology and abilities we haven't observed before. Request additional security forces and research into possible experimental human units. These are not ordinary resistance fighters." The local human population refers to them as ghosts or Avengers. "Recommend increasing processing speed for remaining human populations before these incidents spread." Colonel Sung-min smiled grimly as he read the report. They're beginning to understand what they're facing. "Should we accelerate our operations?" asked Major Ji-woo. "Yes. It's time to move from harassment to direct assault. Select 3 high-value targets. We'll hit them simultaneously." Across the occupied Earth, the whispers grew louder. The resistance was real. Humanity had guardians. And the hegemony, for the first time since their arrival, felt fear. 6 months after their awakening, the super soldiers had transformed from isolated strike teams into the core of a growing rebellion. Their hidden mountain base now housed over 2,000 liberated humans, with more arriving each week. The main chamber buzzed with activity as resistance fighters trained, planned, and prepared. Colonel Sung-min studied the holographic map displaying known hegemony positions across the Korean peninsula. Red dots showed enemy strongholds. Blue markers indicated successful resistance attacks. The blue dots were multiplying. "Their Western processing plant is vulnerable," Major Ji-woo pointed out. "Security increased after our last raid, but Captain Hyun-ki identified 3 potential entry points." Sung-min nodded. "What makes this target special?" Dr. Young-mei stepped forward. The scientists had been working tirelessly in their makeshift laboratory, studying samples of hegemony biology from fallen enemies. Though not a super soldier herself, her brilliant mind had made her essential to their cause. "I've made a discovery," she said, bringing up data on a nearby screen. "The hegemony species share a common respiratory weakness. Their breathing systems cannot process a compound found in our deep ocean trenches. It's completely harmless to humans, but toxic to them." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. "Can we weaponize it?" asked Lieutenant Minha. Young-mei nodded. "With the right equipment. The Western processing plant contains environmental engineering tools we need. With those, I could develop a delivery system, something that could drive the hegemony from our atmosphere without harming humans. Then we take the plant," Sung-min decided. "Major Ji-woo will lead the primary assault team. Captain Hyun-ki's squad will handle extraction of the equipment Dr. Young-mei needs." The following night, 20 super soldiers moved through enemy territory with practiced stealth. Regular human fighters provided diversionary attacks at other locations, drawing hegemony forces away from the main target. The resistance had learned to use their limited numbers effectively, striking where the enemy least expected. The assault team breached the outer perimeter without detection. Inside, they split into smaller units. Ji-woo led her squad toward the main control center, while Hyun-ki headed for the environmental labs. "Security drones approaching," warned Sergeant Du-yun through their neural link. 4 units, heavy weapons. "I'll handle them," Lieutenant Minha responded. "Continue to the objective." Minha positioned herself at a junction where the corridors met. Her enhanced reflexes allowed her to dodge the first energy blasts from the security drones. She threw specialized grenades that disrupted their guidance systems, then attacked with precise shots from her salvaged hegemony weapon. The firefight alerted the facility to their presence. Alarms blared as hegemony troops converged on their position. "Our cover is blown," Jiwoo announced. "All units, switch to aggressive protocol." "Minha, fall back to extraction point Alpha." "Negative," Minha replied calmly. "Too many hostiles between you and the exit. I'll hold this position to secure your retreat path." In the environmental lab, Hyun-ki and his team worked quickly to gather the equipment Youngmai had requested. "Objective secured," he reported. "Beginning extraction." Jiwoo's team had reached the control center, downloading critical data about hegemony deployments and security protocols. Data secured, falling back now. Throughout the facility, the battle intensified. The super soldiers fought with extraordinary skill, their enhanced bodies performing feats impossible for normal humans. Still, the hegemony forces kept coming. At her position, Minha continued to hold off waves of enemies. Her ammunition ran low, forcing her to engage in close combat. Even with her augmentations, she couldn't hold forever against such numbers. "Extraction team clear," Hyun-ki reported as his squad escaped with the crucial equipment. "Control team clear," added Jiwoo moments later. Minha smiled to herself. Mission accomplished then. It's been an honor. She triggered the explosives she had planted throughout the junction. The blast collapsed the tunnel, cutting off pursuit of her retreating comrades, and sealing her own fate. Back at the resistance base, the successful teams returned with their hard-won prizes. The celebration dimmed when they realized Minha wasn't coming back. "She gave herself for the mission," Colonel Sung-min told the assembled fighters. "The first of our awakened soldiers to fall. But her sacrifice ensures we can continue the fight." Dr. Youngmai examined the recovered equipment, her eyes bright with determination. "I can make this work. Give me 2 weeks." As the resistance grew stronger, the hegemony leaders became increasingly concerned. Reports from Earth indicated an organized, effective opposition that hadn't existed before. Some alien leaders advocated complete extermination of remaining humans. Others urged caution and study of this unexpected development. Their indecision bought the resistance precious time. Time to grow, to plan, and to prepare for Youngmi's weapon that might finally drive the invaders from Earth. Colonel Sung-min looked at the memorial wall where they had placed Lieutenant Minha's name. "We will not waste your sacrifice," he promised quietly. The resistance rises. The morning of humanity's final stand broke with an unusual calm. 1 year after Protocol Lazarus activated, the resistance had grown beyond what anyone could have imagined. 5,000 regular humans fought alongside the remaining super soldiers. They had liberated territories, gathered weapons, and prepared for this day. Colonel Sung-min stood on a hill overlooking what had once been Shanghai, now the hegemony's primary Earth headquarters. The alien structures rose like strange coral formations among the ruins of human architecture. "All teams report ready," Major Jiwoo said, approaching him. Her combat suit showed signs of previous battles. "Dr. Youngmi's delivery teams are in position around the city." Sung-min nodded. "And her weapon?" "Complete. The compound affects all hegemony species except the Kalon. It will force them to evacuate or die." The plan was daring but necessary. Strike teams would breach the central command structure, while others deployed Youngmi's atmospheric weapon. The compound would make Earth's air toxic to most of the invaders, giving humanity leverage for the first time in this long war. "Begin the operation," Sung-min ordered. Across the former city, resistance fighters moved into position. Super soldiers led each squad, their enhanced bodies carrying heavier weapons and protective gear. They struck simultaneously at 20 different points, creating chaos in the hegemony's carefully ordered world. Sung-min led the central assault force himself. 50 super soldiers ran beside him, moving faster than normal humans could track. They cut through the outer defenses with practiced efficiency, their augmented bodies shrugging off injuries that would kill regular soldiers. Eastern sector secured, came the report through their neural link. Deploying Compound Dispersal Unit 1. Western sector facing heavy resistance, another team reported. Need reinforcements. Ji-Woo redirected forces as the battle evolved. Her tactical implants processed information faster than any normal human brain could, identifying patterns and predicting enemy movements. The fighting intensified as they penetrated deeper into the hegemony stronghold. Alien defense systems targeted the super soldiers specifically, recognizing them as the greater threat. One by one, enhanced humans fell, their bodies pushed beyond even their extraordinary limits. In the midst of battle, something unexpected happened. A group of Kalon, the most humanoid of the hegemony species, turned against their allies. Their leader approached Sungmin with hands raised in the universal gesture of peace. "I am the advocate," the alien said in halting human language. "We wish to help." Sungmin hesitated, weapon raised. "Why would you turn against your own?" "Your resistance proves your species' worth," the advocate replied. "The Dominion faction was wrong to classify you as animals. We have argued for your rights within the coalition for years." This unexpected alliance shifted the battle's momentum. The Kalon provided access codes and tactical information that allowed the human forces to penetrate the central command structure. Meanwhile, Mi's teams successfully deployed the compound dispersal units around the city perimeter. The effect was immediate. 3 of the 4 hegemony species began to struggle for breath as the compound spread through the air circulation systems. Many fled to their ships, desperate to escape the suddenly hostile atmosphere. In the central command chamber, Sungmin faced the supreme executor of the hegemony. The alien leader, a massive Deku, wore an emergency breathing apparatus. "You have lost," Sungmin stated simply. "The compound is spreading worldwide. Your species cannot survive here anymore." The executor's translator conveyed his bitter response. "Then neither will yours." He activated a final command sequence, a self-destruct protocol for their primary power core. The explosion would destroy not just the headquarters, but half the continent. Major Ji-Woo intercepted the transmission. "Detonation in 3 minutes. We can't stop it remotely." The advocate stepped forward. "My people will evacuate your forces. We cannot save everyone." Sungmin looked at his fellow super soldiers. No words were needed. They had been created for this moment. "Get the human resistance fighters out," he ordered. "We'll handle the core." Ji-Woo nodded once, understanding what this meant. "It has been my honor, Colonel." The remaining super soldiers fought their way to the power core deep beneath the complex. The countdown continued as they worked to contain the reaction. They couldn't stop the explosion completely, but they could direct its force upward rather than outward. On the surface, Kalon ships evacuated as many humans as possible. The advocate watched the sky anxiously as the minutes ticked away. The explosion, when it came, shot upward in a pillar of light. The hegemony headquarters collapsed in on itself, but the devastating continental damage was averted. None of the super soldiers emerged. 3 years later, humans had reclaimed most of their planet. The remaining Kalon had chosen to stay, helping rebuild an atonement for their coalition's crimes. In what was once again called Seoul, a memorial stood to honor Earth's saviors, Commander Jun-hee Park, who gave the final order, and the frozen sentinels who answered when humanity needed them most. On the base of the monument, a simple inscription read, "They slept so we could wake again."